Just a quick note before we begin. If you find meaning or comfort in these conversations, consider becoming a supporter of the Don't Forget to Breathe podcast. Your support helps keep these stories alive and makes it possible for others to find hope in their own grief journey. For as little as $3 a month, your support goes to offset costs associated with production. You can learn more on the information page for this episode and by clicking on the link, Support the Show. Welcome to Don't Forget to Breathe. I'm Bruce Barker, here with my co-host, Kristin Glenn. You know, every once in a while, someone puts words to grief in a way that makes you stop, take a breath, and think, yes, that's exactly what I've been trying to say. Today's episode, it's a little different. Instead of interviewing a guest, Kristin and I are sharing some of the writers, poets, and grief advocates, many of whom are bereaved parents themselves, whose words have deeply impacted our own journeys. Through Instagram pages, poetry, and reflections, they've captured truths about child loss that many bereaved parents feel, but often struggle to express. We'll read some of their writings, talk about what resonates with us, and explore why these messages matter, not only for grieving parents, but also for anyone walking beside someone they love. If you're grieving, we hope you'll hear your own heart reflected in these words. And if you're supporting someone who is grieving, we hope these words will help you understand just a little more. Let's take a breath together and begin. Hey, Kristin, how are you tonight?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I am doing great.
That's good.
Hey, so I know we've talked about this for a while off air, and we've kind of shared some of the things that we have seen on Instagram. I know you actually in particular are working on our Instagram page for the Don't Forget to Breathe podcast. And, you know, in doing some of the stuff with social media, I've come across some really good sites or pages, I guess is what would be a better word for it. And there's been some really profound things that I've seen, and I know you and I have talked about it. So what we were talking about tonight is we want to share some of those with our listeners, where they came from. And, you know, maybe it's pages that you want to follow. We're going to talk about some of the things. There's some real insight. And I know in a previous podcast, we talk about how important it is to be around those people that get it. Well, the people we're going to talk about and the things that we're going to read from their Instagram pages are people that get it. You know, we'll just kind of read through them and just kind of see where it lands, see what, you know, where it comes from. There's a page, it's Jameson Arasi. I believe that's the correct pronunciation, but the Instagram, you know, it's at Jameson Arasi. So it's JamesonArasi. Great suggestion on following that. Incredible writing, just incredible post. One of the things that I want to share, and then we'll talk about it, is he says, yes, you will grieve forever, not as a life sentence, but as a love letter you keep writing. Where's that hit you?
I love the love letter you keep writing. I just think that's such a, it's such a compassionate way to view our grief for ourselves, that you and I've talked about the way we live is the way we try to express our love now for our children. I think that it feels like a life sentence, and it is, but it is one of love, not of punishment. You know, when we think of a life sentence, I think I felt like that in the beginning, like I will forever be punished for not being able to somehow prevent this from happening. Mm-hmm. So I will live a life of sorrow. And now I just really do not believe that anymore. So both him saying not a life sentence and also the phrase, it's a forever love letter, I think is just poetic, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I know early on I went to a couple of groups and this was again within the first few months. And I go in and I'm hearing people tell their stories and just they're completely distraught. And I remember in one case, this person that was sharing it, a young mother, and was just, obviously devastated. And then the facilitator asked, remind me how long it's been? And she said, 16 years. Or it could have been 12, I don't know, but a long time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so screwed. Like
Right.
this is what it is. So at that time I'm thinking, well, I'm going to grieve forever. And yeah, it's a life sentence of sadness.
Right.
But through time and a lot of work and therapy and conversations, realizing she was simply in her moment. She was feeling her feels, and that's where those emotions were coming from. And as you and I have talked about, the grief is always going to be there, but the grief and the joy can coexist at the same time. And I didn't understand that then. It just seemed like this is a life sentence. This is just going to be this every day. But I also know that when I've had those conversations with people, and you and I, I'm sure this has both happened to both of us, when you feel the emotion in recalling something, recalling a memory, or maybe what we've lost or a future or whatever, and there's emotion there, that it's okay to feel that emotion, and that's not a bad thing. So you're not stuck in that emotional feeling forever. And he addresses this in 2 simple sentences. Yes, you will grieve forever, not as a life sentence, but as a love letter you keep writing. How about you share one with me?
There's a truth about grief that love doesn't stop. It just loses its usual way of moving through the world. It can't travel through a phone call anymore. It can't show up at the door. It can't sit across from you at dinner. So it finds another way. It lives in who you are becoming, the way you listen more closely, offer kindness without question, the way you love people differently now because you know in a way that you never did before exactly what it means to lose them.
Yeah. Grief is interesting. There's podcasts, so many podcasts on grief. There's obviously so many Instagram pages. There's blogs. There's books. Because I think it's something that we continue to learn and dive into deeper, especially those who've experienced this level of loss. But that first line, because here's the truth about grief, the love doesn't stop. And yeah, it changes. It takes on a new identity. I love his insight. Like I say, it's not what it used to be. But it finds another way. And he points that out.
Yeah.
I love
and it's
how he
not
points
the
that out.
tangible ways that you want it. I talk to so many parents and they want that hug. They want that voice. They want that physical presence. We all do. And then that he just quite simply says it just finds another way. And if we allow it to, it finds another way through our way of living, because we are able to do those tangible things of showing up, sitting next to, listening, loving, talking. So I think that's beautiful.
That it's the part you mentioned is about who you are becoming, because we know there's an evolution there. And he points out, you listen more closely, 100%. Offer kindness without question, because we know that we don't know where someone else is.
Right.
Because we experienced it, that someone doesn't know what we're going through. And if they were asking us questions or they were doing something with with some judgment or assuming something. We know what that feels like. So we turn around and we don't do that and just simply offer without question. Yeah. Jameson is onto some stuff here. Here's another one from him. Every time we talk about them, we carry them into the present. We close the distance between then and now, between memory and missing. That one really hit me when I first read that.
Yeah, and can I refer back to an episode that we did about sibling loss? In that episode, a teenager reflected on losing his younger brother. And if anyone's looking for that episode, it's just Cooper's story. But I was struck by the fact that he talked about the memories that he shared with his brother, and those memories being difficult because he wishes he could redo those memories. Was he too tough on him? Did he not appreciate enough? And then just in that wisdom that he shared, he went right on to talking about the missing of ever becoming an uncle, the missing of ever getting to see his brother grow up. So without any prompting, this, wise teenager that we were able to have the honor to interview, I was just struck by that. I'd never really thought of that before in those terms of the memory shifting to the missing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, as the years have passed, the memories have faded. The acute memories of my son and exactly what he sounded like, or the feel of his hand in mine, or his giggle, or how he smelled right after bath. I know it was precious. I know it was special, but I couldn't pick it out. And that's devastating. But I think it is what that is. And now it's really shifted to this missing, this longing. His brother now got married, and there was this longing for me to see another groomsman up there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been decades, and I never thought it would strike me like that because I never knew him as an adult. But it did. It shifted to not a memory, but just a sheer missing and a void.
We talked about another episode that was directed more toward those that are supporting someone who had a loss. And one of the things that we brought up was about saying their name, bringing up a memory, talking about them. And Jameson's covered it here. Every time we talk about them, we carry them into the present.
Yeah.
Right? We close that distance. Like you said, while some of those memories may not be as sharp as they used to be, they're now in the present. And now that's another form where we're missing them.
Mm-hmm.
Because by having conversations about them, speaking their name, we brought them into the present. So now we miss them. So Beautifully done. One last one from him, and then we're going to talk about something else, but this one is really good. And this falls into even some of the episodes we've done before. And this one is, so let the tears fall when they come. Let the laughter rise when memories bring warmth. Let grief and joy coexist. They are not opposites. They are just love in different forms.
No words from me. I think he...
Yeah, it's like that one kind of goes without... There's not a lot. Really just... It's about being present. That's really it. It's about being present in the moment, feeling your feels, and that grief and joy are going to walk hand in hand as we go forward.
Yeah. Those
are some quotes from Jameson Arasi. And again, that is on Instagram. It's like at Jameson Arasi. So that's all one word. So it's JamesonArasi. Jameson, thank you for sharing your grief with everyone. Okay, so there's a couple of sites, and it's I believe it's by the same person, but one is, and again, some of our listeners, you may be following these pages anyway, but the Grieving Moms, that's all one word, and that's also by, I believe, It's Paula P. Griffith. So the other site is at P period Griffith, Griffith. And she has some incredible writings that are in there. Kristin, you want to share one of those?
Yeah, I love one that talks about being acquainted with grief. It says, "You do not get over the loss of someone you love. You get acquainted with it." Modern grief theory has moved away from the old 5-stage model because grief is not a checklist. It's a relationship. You learn its rhythms. You learn how to hold it on good days and how to let it hold you on bad days. And somewhere in the holding, you find yourself again.
That's amazing.
It truly is. You hold it on the good days and you let it hold you on the bad days.
Depending on where you are in your journey, that may be hard to swallow. And again, it depends on also, are you aligned with the 5 stages? And I think I've talked about that in episodes way back, how that doesn't align with me. And I think I referred to it more as a river. Or maybe I haven't shared that. Don't know. Either way, I love the getting acquainted with it. Getting acquainted with the grief. And that it's a relationship.
Yeah. We did a letter writing reflection at a mother's retreat fairly recently, and the moms chose between writing to their child or writing a letter to grief.
Wow.
And we wrote, I think almost all of the 9 moms in attendance wrote to grief as their companion, as what they wanted to say to grief. And some of those letters held anger, and some of them held acknowledgement that grief was the package of love that they felt. They love and grieve deeply. They have to coexist after the loss of your child. But to address grief, it was really powerful. And we read, if we wanted to, our letters, but dear grief. And then what do you want to say to your grief? It may be a worthy thing to consider.
Yeah, I would like to, and at some point in the future, if one of those moms is willing to come on to an episode, to be willing to read that, because I'm certainly curious about that. And I'm sure a lot of listeners are. It would be really good for people to share and get others' opinions and places where they are on their journey and how to look at this. There's another writing that Paula has offered, and this one really resonated with me. And I'm pretty sure that I talked about this in an early episode about this particular moment. But what she writes is, some mornings feel normal for a split second, and then the reality settles in all over again. The kind of reality your heart still refuses to fully accept. Losing Chanel, that's her daughter, changed the way I wake up, the way I breathe, the way I move through this world. It's not just missing her, it's living with the truth that no amount of love, no amount of wishing, no amount of what ifs can bring her back. And yet, I still get up. I still carry her with me. I still learn how to live with a heart that will never be the same. I talked about that for the very next morning after I received the call about Kristin dying. Was that split second between being in a dream and being fully conscious. I felt for that split second, that was just a terrible nightmare. But before I could even complete the thought, I was awake and I was back into reality.
Yeah.
I think that's parents that I've talked to, and you can tell me if that's the same for you. That's a common feeling. It's a common thing that happens. And I love the way that Paula has written this to share it.
I think that's what makes mourning so difficult sometimes, because it is a bit of reprieve that your psyche gets if you're able to sleep, which grief can certainly be disruptive to any sort of normal sleep patterns. But any amount of reprieve of the mind resting, and then that wake up time of, oh, this is my reality. I think when she says, and yet I still get up, even as you realize it is real, the resiliency, it just is, it's inspiring to watch people I've worked with still get up and remember that they're carrying their child with them and learning how to live again. And it's incredible to me. And I think sometimes we feel the human nature would be, well, then you don't get out of bed. But that's not what I see bereaved parents doing. They get out of bed, they figure it out. They want to live in ways that honor their children, and they are the most incredible humans I've met.
Yeah, I know, I'd say fairly early on, once I got to know some other parents, and this was before I was doing any of this, and it just happened to be that I knew someone, and then they lost a child, and then someone else. And I remember, every loss is unique, and we don't compare, but I did. One of the moms that I talked to, she had 3 other children, and Kristin was my only child. And my thing for her was, and I'd said, is like, you don't have a choice but to get out in the morning. I can stay in bed. I can not get up. And so I thought it was so much harder for her because she didn't have the reprieve. But again, this was very early on, and I mean, within probably 6 months of Kristin dying. Paula brings it out very clearly. You still get up. You still get up whether you lost your only child or whether you have more, or wherever you are in your journey. And that's what you've seen over the years. And I've now seen too. You still get up. There may be days where you just don't really feel like it, but you still get up.
Right.
So, parents, proud of you for getting up.
Absolutely.
Another one is Donna Ashworth. She's a poet, and her Instagram is Donna Ashworth Word. So it's, at DonnaAshworthWord. Really great poet. I believe she's from Scotland. I'm not sure. But do you want to read one of those?
Yeah, this is the one that resonates most with me. So I would love to read it. You don't move on after loss, but you must move with. You must shake hands with grief. Welcome her in, for she lives with you now. Pull her a chair to the table and offer her comfort. She is not the monster you first thought her to be. She is love, and she will walk with you now, stay with you now, if you let her. And on the days when your anger is high, remember why she came. Remember who she represents. Grief came to you, my friend, because love came first. Love came first.
Okay, that one is so powerful. Here's what I'm going to ask our listeners to do. As long as you are not driving, what I would like you to do is close your eyes. Kristin's going to read that again, and I want you to visualize what she is saying. That's what I was doing. So again, if you're driving, don't do it. Pull over, do it. But at some point, because I think this is so powerful, close your eyes and go with this and visualize these words.
It's actually called Love Came First. You don't move on after loss, but you must move with. You must shake hands with grief. Welcome her in, for she lives with you now. Pull her a chair at the table and offer her comfort. She is not the monster you first thought her to be. She is love, and she will walk with you now, stay with you now, if you let her. And on the days when your anger is high, remember why she came. Remember who she represents. Grief came to you, my friend, because love came first. Love came first.
I don't know that I need to comment on that.
Yeah. I don't want to take away from what she's able to express there.
Yeah.
But I'm posting that on my bathroom mirror.
Share that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there's another one from her. There's so many from her, but there's another one that this one's called Every Day. Losing someone is a journey, not a one-off. There is no end to the loss. There is only a learned skill on how to stay afloat when it washes over you. Be kind to those who are sailing this tempestuous sea. They have a mission ahead of them and a daily shock to the system each time they realize they are gone again. You don't just lose someone once. You lose them every day for a lifetime because you love them every day for a lifetime. These are so good.
They're so good. And just the way that she's able to express you love them every day. It's so similar to the, not in redundancy, but just in this message of course we will grieve. Of course we will grieve. You know, just, I don't know if I was ready to hear that in the beginning. Yeah. I knew it, but if anybody ever told me that it was going to become kind of just an integrated part of who I am, I would want to reject that. And both of these normalize grief in a way that they may land with people a little further out in their journey. I'd love to hear from someone in our comments about, you know, if one of these sets well with you, we want to hear, but we also want to hear if you think, I want to reject that. I don't like that sentiment. We want to hear that. This journey is so different for everybody. So if these thoughts, they don't resonate with you, that's really meaningful for us to also reflect on that.
There's so many more that she has. And so again, that's Donna Ashworth Word. That's the Instagram page. One more Instagram page that we'll talk about. And there's so many out there. There's some really good ones. So we'd ask you to, you know, jump on there, investigate these, and you may find something that we didn't cover or didn't have time to cover that really sits well with you. And the reason that we're sharing all of these is we just want to offer you another resource, something that lands with you, may not land with someone else. That's the unique part of this journey. And so we're trying to offer as many things as possible to help you as we walk beside you. So there's one, this one is from the Grief Table. So that's at TheGriefTable. Kristin, can you read one of those?
One of the most powerful parts of grief work is understanding that love does not disappear when someone dies. It changes shape.
Yeah, the love that I have for Kristin when she was walking on this earth has changed with the love that I have for her now that she's not here. It's still love, and it's still powerful, but it is definitely different. It's different as time goes on and I evolve in the journey. When we mention time, it's not about time healing. It's time moves forward and we move with it, and our shape changes along the way. So take a look at some of these Instagram pages. If you want to get on ours, just don't forget to breathe podcast, and then you'll see that we may be reposting some of these. You'll see some of the follows that we have. Again, it's just more and more resources that we can provide that will help. And if there's some that you find that really helps you and really resonates with you, share those with us as well. As we talk about, this is a community where we don't want anyone walking alone. And the more that we can support each other and share with each other, the easier this journey becomes. It's never easy, but it's easier that it becomes. So there's one I'm going to close with. This is one that I wrote, and this is about, it's a summary, or it's kind of a poem about a much longer story that I'll share probably on our website. When we announce that, there'll be some things that we share on there, some different stories. This one is called When Grief Flips the Canoe. The river never asks if you are ready. Neither does grief. One moment, I was paddling toward tomorrow. The next, I was beneath the surface, searching for air in a world that no longer made sense. People on the shore kept moving, laughing, working, living, while I learned how to breathe again. Some days I drift. Some days I fight the current. Some days I swear the river will take me too. But then comes a bend, a sliver of sunlight, a hand reaching from the shore, a reminder that survival is not found in controlling the river, but in climbing back into the canoe and paddling on. Don't stop paddling, and don't forget to breathe. As we close today, we encourage you to seek out these writers and spend some time with their work. Sometimes one sentence, just one, can become an anchor on a difficult day. Grief has a way of making us feel isolated, but these voices remind us that we are part of a much larger community of parents who continue loving their children every single day. If one of these quotes spoke to you, we'd love to hear about it. Share it with us on social media, leave us a comment, or send us a message. And if there's another writer, poet, or grief resource that's helped you, please tell us. We want this community to keep learning from one another. Thank you for spending this time with us. Until next time, keep breathing, keep remembering, and never forget your child's story, and your love for them continues. We'll see you next time on Don't Forget to Breathe. One more thing. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. We are not licensed professionals, just parents who've experienced unimaginable loss. This isn't meant to replace help from a therapist, doctor, or other mental health professional. If you're struggling, please reach out to someone qualified. You are not alone. You can also contact us by going to the show notes and click on Send Us a Text, or you can visit us at our new website, don'tforgettobreathefoundation.org. Feel free to email us at support@don'tforgettobreathefoundation.org. That's support@don'tforgettobreathefoundation.org.